Hello, everybody. Phil Simborg here from Chicago. I am one of the co-founders, along with Perry Gardner, of the Backgammon Learning Center and official teaching pro of the USBGF. And I'm in New York. I came here for the largest tournament in the United States. Congratulations to Wilcox Snelling for winning the tournament and playing wonderfully. And congratulations to my really good friend, Joey Isa from Jamaica, who made the semifinals. He lost to um, Victor in the semifinals, and he played very well. A very exciting match, too. Okay, but I've stayed in New York with Akiko and Michi and several other people for some exhibitions, and but mostly I stayed for the Chouettes. And tonight we had a fantastic, fun Chouette in Brooklyn. We had 9 players playing interlocking Chouette. Victor Ashkenazi, Michi, Akiko, and I, and a whole bunch of our friends. And it was very, very exciting and fun. But as I usually do, I took pictures of the positions that we thought were pretty interesting. And I have, I think, 13, 14 positions for you. So I'm going to go super fast through these positions. You can test yourself. You can pause the video if I'm going too fast and see how you did. And in the comments, either on my Facebook page or on YouTube, please tell me how you did, or tell me what you think of these videos. Okay, here we go. And again, you're going to have to pause the video because I don't want to take forever to do this thing. Share my screen. I'm going to show you Extreme Gammon. Every single one is a money game with the Jacoby rule. And here we go. I'm going to start with position. Looks like I got 13 positions. Okay. Position number 1 is a 5-1 to play for red. Now, white has the cube. Red has a 5-1. Obviously, red can hit with the 1 and do something else, or red can issue the hit and break this point or make the 1 point. Pause the video, see what you can do, because I'm going to give you the answer very quickly. Over the board, I'm pretty sure that they hit and continued, and I think Victor had the play here. And I'm not going to tell you if when Victor or Michi or Akiko or I make a really bad play, but I'll tell you when we make a good one. If we make a bad one, I'll just say somebody good made a bad play. I don't want to embarrass anybody. But I'm pretty sure Victor made the right play here. So what would you do? Okay, the right play is to hit and continue. A lot of people talked about hitting and making the 2 point, which is way down on the list. And not hitting is also a pretty big blunder. But I'm pretty sure Victor got it right. He had partners. Everybody was screaming for different plays. It was not a quiet Chouette, but it was fun. Okay, one of my most fun Chouettes in the world, if not the most. Well, I don't know, Istanbul and Jamaica are awfully fun Chouettes. Okay, number 2. Number 2 is a cube action problem. Red's on roll. Should red double? And if red doubles, should white take or pass? I want to tell you that I did the wrong thing here. I'm not embarrassed to say when I'm wrong, because I guarantee you that nobody was perfect in this Chouette. All right, if you're red, would you double? If you're white, would you take? Pause the video if you want more time. The answer is, well, I'm telling you that I took, so now you know the wrong answer. By the way, Akiko said this is a big drop, and she was right. You just the 1-5 back game is a really bad game. I thought we'd end up with a 1 point holding game and maybe not get gammoned and do well, and we didn't get gammoned. So, but it still was lousy. Okay, we should have passed it. I hate these 1-5 games anyway. I've always said that. Number 3. Red to play 6-2. This is one that a very top player missed. And I would have gotten it right, but I didn't get a chance to make the play because it was played on the other side. There's obviously 2 plays. You make the 2 point by breaking the 8, or you come off the 18 with 2. Which of those 2 plays would you make? By the way, I'm going to tell you, I like one of the plays is a blunder. Dirk Schiemann has a really good idea called Schiemann's Law. Ask yourself which play is most likely to be a blunder and make the other play. That sometimes will help steer you to a play. sometimes you can say, well, this play might be bad. It might be really, really bad. I'm not sure. The other play might be wrong, but I don't think it would be a blunder. Then go with that play. Okay. The really good player broke the 8-point, and his partners really wanted him to come off the 18, which is clearly right. Outfield control, leave the shots now while there's still a blot in the inner board. I wonder if you'd make this play if there wasn't a blot in the inner board. I think you still do. Let's take a look. My guess is you still do, but certainly it's a big inducement to leave shots when there's that blot in the inner board. Let's see if that swings the play. Wow. Look at that. It made it almost a wash, 1% difference. So that's how huge it is to have an open inner board and a blot in the inner board. And that was really what the difference was. That's why it's right, because of that blot in the inner board. That's why it's hugely right. Okay, let's move on. It's not the only bad play a top player made, including myself. I don't put myself in the same league as Michi, Akiko, and Victor, but I'm not bad. And I made a few errors and made some great plays. Okay. In fact, I think I was the big winner in the Chouette. Ha ha ha. Okay. Now we have a cube action problem. White is on roll. Does white recube? And if white redoubles, does red take or pass? By the way, you can see the pip count. Red is up by 5 pips before the roll. If you were white, would you redouble here? And if you were red, would you take or pass? All right, pause it if you don't want to hear my answer. Again, I think if you use Woolsey's law here, ask yourself if the person's taking or not. I think this is an easy take, but there's a hell of a lot of market losers, and that's what you think about if your opponent has a take, and you lose your market big time if you hit and don't get hit back. And even if you hit and get hit back with that other board, that's why I really like the double here. And a really top player thought this wasn't a double. One of the giants thought this wasn't a double. I thought it really was, and I did double, and it was right. Almost a blunder not to double. Okay, next one. Number 5. White to play double 6. I'm not going to tell you the options here because there's several. Take your time. By the way, white is holding the cube. That might matter. I have to tell you that Victor had the right idea and the right play, but his partners wouldn't let him make it, or you talked him out of it, or maybe Victor was in charge. I think if Victor was alone, he certainly would have made the right play. He really wanted to. So I'll give credit to Victor for this one, even though his team didn't make the right play. And that's the thing about a Chouette. Victor can certainly be pretty confident that he's more likely to be right than his partners, but how much do you insist? There's some reason to be nice and be social and only insist so hard in a Chouette. I think if they were playing for $1 million a point, Victor might have insisted, but we were playing for a little less than that. Okay, the right play is to hit twice, cover and hit twice, which is what Victor wanted to do, and they made a really blunder by making the bar and hitting once. And Victor's not the only one. Victor's partner's not the only one that would have gotten this one wrong. This is kind of tough play. But you just win so many more gammons. Look at 46% gammons versus 23% gammons with the other play. I mean, that's the huge thing here. Even if you get hit, red's board is not that hot. So Victor's play was clearly best. Okay, let's go on. Number 6. This is a cube action problem. This is red on roll. I was red here. Should red double? Initial double? If red doubles, if you're white, would you take or pass? Pause it if you want more time. I'm going to give you the answer. The answer is, I think it's an easy take. Red might not roll a 6, but I doubled because I thought the market losers and possible gammons were way too much. So I doubled, and it was a big double, and it was a big take. So everybody got this one right. However, I think I lost this game. It went back and forth a little bit. We didn't roll a 6 for a while. And people wondered whether or not we really were right to double, because when you use hindsight, you're always right. Always right. Okay, next play, next position. Number 7. This is that same game later, and red had taken the cube, and now red's on roll. Should red double, redouble? And if red redouble, should white take or pass? What do you think? I'm going to give you the answer. So stop the video if you want more time. It's not a redouble by a mile. Red can get into big trouble here if he doesn't roll a 6. And I believe, I really don't remember. I'm pretty sure red did redouble and white took. And red's, yeah, I was white and I got slaughtered here. He did roll 6s, not immediately. He came in and I think that's the way I remember it. I could be wrong. It's late at night. Let's go on. Number 8. This is red on roll cube action. Should red double? If red double, should white take or pass? Pause the video if you don't want to hear the answer. Over the board, it was double take, and that's the right decision. It was double take. A lot of people thought it was, I think some passed, some passed and some took, but they did double, which is a good double, but it's a huge take. A blot and not that much ammunition, not that many checkers in the zone. Let's put one more checker in the zone. I bet you it's a big pass. One checker makes a huge difference. Look at that. I was right. One checker in the zone, monster pass. So that makes a big difference. That's the important thing about counting the checkers in the zone. By the way, I instantly know there's 10 checkers in the zone. I don't have to count the 10 checkers in the zone. I count the ones that aren't in the zone. That's my trick. There's 5 outside the zone. I immediately know there's 10. The zone is this quadrant and this quadrant. Okay, let's go on. Number 9. This is red on roll cube action, initial cube. If you're red, would you double this? If you're white, would you take or pass? Akiko got this one right. I got this one wrong. You ready for the answer? It's a big pass, and I took it. Of course, it's a double, and it's a huge pass, huge pass. This was a baddie for me, and of course, it didn't work out too well. I got what I deserved. Number 10. This is red on roll cube action, initial cube again. Should red double? If red double, should white take or pass? What would you do? If you were red, would you double? If you're white, would you take or pass? Initial cube. By the way, you can see the pip count. White's up 47 pips. I'm going to give you the answer. You ready? Not even a double. That 47 pips means a lot. But somebody did double this, and I took it. I know. I don't know who else took it. But the way we play in the Chouette is initial double. You have to double everybody. If the box gets doubled on the initial double, you got to take or pass everybody. I really like that. Can't pick and choose or pick on people. Number 11. White to play 4-1. I had this play, and I played it wrong. But my partner was a giant who also got it wrong. And I showed it to another giant who also got it wrong. So why don't you think about what you think is right and know that's wrong and go with the other one? Quiz factor. Obviously, you either pick and pass or you don't. You go to the ace or you pick and pass. And the answer is you don't pick and pass. That's what we did. That's what we all thought was right. We all thought pick and pass was right. Let me take it to a higher God. When you're losing XG, always go at least plus plus. And if you really want to be sure, you roll it out. But this is pretty clear that it's right to play safe and not pick and pass. What's wrong with pick and pass? You're leaving a shot. You're leaving a 5-2 and a 3-2 and a 3-4. You're leaving 6 numbers where you're probably going to lose immediately, so you don't do it. Plus the fact that he's got to do something now. He's pretty stiff. Okay, got that one wrong. I thought pick and pass you win a lot more gammons, and you do. You win 10% more gammons instead of 7, but you lose the game 2% more. And so that sounds to me like you should pick a pass 2-to-1 ratio, but the cube volatility, it's big. All right, 2 more. 2 more. Bear with me. Double 3 for white. And there were 2 plays. And by the way, I won a bet with a giant on this one. My play was right, but my giant was my partner, and I made the giant's play. So would you make the ace point or would you make the bar point? That's really the only question. Which one do you think is right? And by the way, you're holding the cube. Make the ace point or the bar point. I'm going to show you the answer. Pause it if you don't want to hear the answer. My play was right, making the bar point. And the giant talked me, because I didn't have enough confidence, talked me into making the ace. It still turned out very nicely. But that's hindsight. Let me plus it again. That's what I'm doing now. Sure enough, it's right to make the bar. Better structure, just in the long term. You got a long way to go. I didn't like the idea of blitzing with so few checkers in the zone and so many checkers back. I'd like the idea of playing a priming game. So we had a difference of agreement of what our game plan was. Okay, and that time I happened to be right. Number 13. Last one. My lucky number 13. I'm not superstitious. I want to bet with a giant on this one. Double 4s. I don't think there's any question that you're going to move the 2 back checkers 18-14. Now you're going to either continue or make the 2-point. Which one do you do? My giant partner made the 2-point, and I bet that person that it was wrong, but we made that play, and I won the bet. What do? You make the 2-point or you make the 10-point? And the answer is my play. You don't make the 2-point. 2 points a very bad play. And the reason being that is you are winning a race and you want to race. You want to make it easier to bring home. My partner felt, well, the opponent's stiff and he's either going to have to break or leave shots. So I want to be able to hit. But your goal isn't really stopping or hitting your opponent. Your game plan, again, is to race. This is going to come home easier. Those are the 13 problems from the Chouette. I hope you enjoyed this. And again, I would appreciate in your comments telling me how many you got right. And I am off to San Antonio next month, not too far from now, but another couple of weeks. Spending another week or so in New York before going back to Florida. I'm booking my tickets to Japan. I'm going to be there May 1st through 10th. The tournament, I think, is the 3rd through 5th. I encourage everyone to go there. There's another reason to go to Japan this year. The Japan yen is way down. You can get a really nice hotel room, a single nice, decent hotel room near the tournament for $50 a night. You can get a nice, really nice room in Shibuya, which is a really cool area, about a 15-minute train ride. We get a really spectacular room for like 100 or 150 a night. So the prices are way down. That's another reason to go. Plus, I just love Japan. I love Tokyo. Thank you, everybody. See you soon. Comments, suggestions, constructive criticism, insults, all appreciated. Bye-bye.